what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. And welcome to this month's TBR. It is October. We're wearing the spooky shirts. Can you see they have little Halloween Care Bears? I love that for me. So in this TBR, we're going to play Candyland as usual. I will explain the rules very quickly for those of you who don't know, but we will also be throwing dice and picking our first prompt for Becca's Spookopoly, which is a spooky twist on her usual annual Bookopoly game that is a month-long readathon. All the information for that will be in the description down below. And we will also be talking about the 3 books I will be reading for the Bookathon, like it's spoopy, it's cute, which is a readathon that will be lasting 1 week in October, and it is based around reading a spooky middle grade. So as always, there will be timestamps down below if you want to watch only certain portions of this. And without making this intro any longer, let's just hop on in. So how did I do in September? Try as I might, I did not complete the entirety of my TBR. So instead of starting with 6 spins, we will be starting with 7 Candyland spins. Also, if you are new here, each color of the Candyland board has a prompt. This is what each color means, and that's kind of how I play the game. If I fall on the same prompt 3 times, I add an extra spin. So technically we're starting with 7. As I did last month, I already picked out the prompts and played the game, so I know what's coming, but you guys don't. And without further ado, let's get into spin number 1. Spin number 1 brought us to Red, which is to read an indie published book. The book I chose for this month is The Right Move by Liz Tomford. This is book 2 in the, I think it's the Windy City series. This is a dual perspective romance. It is all sports based within this series, and I heard that this is like a 5 out of 5 stars for absolutely everyone. This is about a man named Ryan who's a captain of an NBA team, so it's basketball, and it's brother's best friend. I think they end up being roommates. There's just so many tropes that this is hitting that I absolutely love, and everybody has said only positive things about this book. Also, the 3rd book in this series, which is called Caught Up, releases on October 10th, so I want to read these and see what I think before that 3rd one comes out. So that's what we will be reading for prompt number 1. Spin number 2 brought us to Orange, which is self-destruct. If you haven't seen that video on my channel, I have a self-destruct that I made into a video. So books that if I don't read by a certain date, they will be unhauled. And for this round, I decided to yet again put The Rebel on my TBR. I am in the mood for a good hockey romance, and this is the first in a hockey romance series by Kendall Ryan. And I just love Kendall Ryan. She is like an author that's very easy to read. Is she like my all-time favorite author? No, but they're always good for a reading slump. This I don't know anything about other than it's a hockey romance. I did when I originally bought this, but there's a reason why it's on my self-destruct list, because I haven't been reaching for this series when I really should have, and so I'm forgetting about it. I'm not as excited, but I need to at least read the 1st book to kind of hype me up for the rest of the series. So I will tell you guys more about it when I do know, but as of now, I don't. The 3rd spin brought us to a yellow, and yellow is, as always, the Formula 1 prompt jar. For this first one, as you saw, we picked Read a Book Full of Drama, and I am again recycling a book from my September TBR. That is Zodiac Academy, The Awakening as Told by the Boys. I am reading these out of order. Don't come for me. I explained why so many times on my channel now, but I still have not gotten to this, and Zodiac Academy is drama. It is just romantasy. It's a bully romance, so like you can see how that's dramatic, and I cannot wait to read from the boys' POV. I just haven't prioritized Zodiac Academy because I'm worried that once I start reading, I'm gonna just fly through all of the Zodiac Academy books I have and not read anything else like a responsible being. So I need to get to these. These are also very big. This is like over 550 pages, but I digress. I really want to read it, so it's back on another TBR yet again. Our fourth spin brought us to another yellow, this time a double yellow, and the prompt we picked out of the jar for that one is to read a book that's super hyped, and I am very excited to put Fourth Wing on my TBR because I am one of the girlies that hasn't read Fourth Wing yet because the hype is insane, and as much as I feel it in my bones that I will love this book, I'm still scared as hell to read it because what if like everyone's wrong and this is trash? You know, sometimes when the hype is really there, everybody's like, oh my god, it's the best book ever, and then a few months later people are like, actually this is trash. However, I want to read this because one, I want to be part of everybody who stands and raves about Fourth Wing. I want to live that experience, but also because the second book, Iron Flame, is coming out in November, so it would be great to be ready for release day. The next spin brought us to blue. Blue is TBR vet. And for that, I am bringing back my most anticipated book of the year, which was Skandar and the Phantom Rider. At the end of October, it will have been 6 months that this is on my TBR, and this is the amount of time a book needs to be on my TBR to count as a TBR vet. If you have not been to my channel before, you wouldn't know how obsessed I was with Skandar and the Unicorn Thief, which was the first book in a middle grade series. This is its sequel. It came out in April, and in April, I had all the good intentions of starting it. I'm actually 60 pages in. However, I injured myself and it was a rough couple of months, and I didn't want me being in a bad headspace to ruin my reading experience of Skandar because I've been anticipating this second book for a literal like year now. So I am finally in a good headspace. I want to read this. I need to read this, and so it's back. It's back on the TBR. I feel like this together would be an epic time. We love unicorns. We love dragons. It's a whole vibe. The next spin brought us to a double purple, which is most read genre, and for that I yet again went with a middle grade, and I will be reading The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. This is the first book in the Lockwood & Co series. It is also the first book for my book club. If you did not see the announcement video, I am reading this as part of my book club, which is starting in October. It is a middle grade based book club. If you are interested in joining, this is the October pick. I have not yet released the picks for November and December, but we're reading this. This is what the girlies chose. This is what we're reading. This I'm so excited about. It's like a mystery paranormal middle grade story, and it sounds so fun. It is also a Netflix show now, so yeah, come join us, come read it if you'd like. This definitely obviously had to be on my TBR, so I'm happy it has a spot on Candyland. The next prompt brought us yet again to a yellow, which means we need to add a spin. The prompt we chose in the jar this time is read a book that was released this year, and I'm very hesitant between two books actually. One of them is still on its way to me, So one of the books I really want to read before the end of the year is Divine Rivals, because again, it's a very hyped book. I feel like it fits the vibe of October for some reason, and I just think I might really enjoy this. Also, I believe the sequel is coming out maybe in December. Just this cover. It is stunning, and again, the hype has slowly died down, so I feel like I'm ready now to read it. But my other option is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. I am getting the special edition that comes in the Illuma crate. You will see it in my September unboxings video. And that also has kind of October vibes for me. I don't read a lot of spooky books, but I like to read atmospheric books. And so I'm very torn between both. So I'm going to give myself the leeway to pick either or when the time comes. So it's going to be one of them that fits this prompt. If you think I should read one or the other, or I should prioritize one, let me know in the comments. But it's gonna be one of them. Next, and hopefully our final spin. Number 8 is indeed our last spin. We fell on a double yellow, but it's like starting over again after 3, so we are good. Lots of yellow here. We picked again from the jar, and it is to read a book by a best-selling author. And for this, I'm going to say Yumi and the Nightmare Painter by Brandon Sanderson, which is his 3rd special project book. However, it might not get to me in October. So if it is not Yumi, it will be one of the secret project books, either Tress of the Emerald Sea or the Wizard one. I always blank on the title of that one. But just know this prompt will be filled by Brandon Sanderson. No questions asked. He is obviously a well-known author. Fits the prompt very well. So those are all, oh my god, this tack is huge. Let me show you. These plus a Brandon Sanderson book are the books I need to read for Candyland this month. We have a good variety, just not a lot of spoopy. So, on to Bookopoly we go. So Bookopoly, as I said, is basically playing Monopoly, but make it bookish, and it is inspired by Becca from Becca and the Books. It is a month-long readathon. It's going to be a really fun time. I will be rolling as I go, so we're going to do one roll today. And then throughout my vlogs for the month of October, you will see me roll as I go. So it's a great time to join the channel and see what ends up happening with my Bookopoly experience. It always turns out to be something, you know? Sometimes the prompts are a little bit difficult. Sometimes you roll doubles. It's a whole thing. If you know Bookopoly, you know. So yeah, so we will only be doing one roll this time, and as the month progresses, as will my TBR. So let's go into the roll. So for Bookopoly, we rolled a 9, which means that we fell on purple because everybody starts on go. Purple is a pretty self-explanatory prompt. Either the main purple in the title or there's purple on the book. I was very unsure what to read, so I actually put up a poll ahead of time, ahead of filming this, with 3 choices on them, and I let you guys pick. So I haven't checked what's winning on my community tab. Let's see together. Very interesting. Okay, so let me show you the 3 picks I had. One of them is still coming to me, but it is Cleat Cute, which is a female-female romance. It's very purple. Then one of the other picks I had put was Death of a Bookseller. I always call it The Last Bookseller. Both very ominous titles. This clearly has a lot of purple. This is a multi-perspective kind of mystery thrilling book. I don't even know what category to put it in, but this follows multiple characters that are booksellers. One of them is Roach. She gets very obsessed with this other bookseller. There's elements of being obsessed with true crime. I speak about this book. Where did I speak of this book? Oh yes, in my books I want to read this fall. I will leave the video in the description and cards for you guys, but essentially it has a lot of different things going in the plot, but it sounds very ominous, very interesting. And the other book I had put on the poll is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda, which is a thriller. I had spoken about the fact that I have 3 Megan Miranda books on my TBR in that same video I just referenced, and I wanted to read them this spooky season. So, as per the poll, as of now, Cute has 25% of the votes. The Last Bookseller has 42% of the votes, and The Only Survivors has 33%. So I will be reading the, did I call it The Last Bookseller again? I'm sorry. Death of a Bookseller by Alice Slater. So this is also going on the TBR. It will be my first read for Bookopoly, which I'm very excited about. This is one of my most anticipated reads for the spooky season. So thank you, all 76 of you, for choosing wisely. Before we get into the reading prompts and what I'm reading for that middle grade readathon, we are going to pick from my little bat mug, which stays on my desk year-round, one of the, I believe I have 18 or 19 Kindle Unlimited books out right now. We're gonna pick one to read because I need to utilize that subscription, so I thought picking from a jar could be fun. So, also, we need to give it a name. Please find a name for my little bat friend. Let's pick a book. Most of these are romance, as this is what I use Kindle Unlimited for. We are going to read Rules of the Game, which I spoke about in my Kindle Unlimited TBR video. I will again leave that one in the cards. But this is a hockey romance. It's part of a series, and I'm very excited for this pick. So, moving on now to the last part of this video, which is talking through the books I will be reading for the Bookathon readathon. So, there are actually 3 prompts, 3 reading prompts, 3 photo prompts for this readathon. I will not be completing the photo prompts. However, I will be trying to read 3 books, 3 different books for the 3 different prompts. The first prompt is to read a book with a bird on the cover. I'm still waiting on Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundle. It has I think a dragon on the cover, but under that there seems to be a little bird. It might be another dragon. Technically it's my first choice. However, I've been waiting on that book for at least a month. I've been in constant contact with Waterstones. It's not going well. They've been trying to be helpful. However, the postal service is just bonkers. So if that doesn't get to me, I will be reading Eva Evergreen, which is like a witchy middle grade book, and it sounds like a real fun time. I might even pick that one up instead of Impossible Creatures because technically it fits the prompt better. However, I really want to read Impossible Creatures. So, it's going to be either or, but one of them will be read for read a book with a bird on the cover. The next prompt is to read a book featuring a word associated with death in the title, and for that I will be reading Murder on the Safari Star because there's murder straight up right on the cover. This is part of the Adventures on Train series, and we follow a main character who goes on different trains with his uncle, and he solves a lot of different issues. The first one is a theft, the second is a kidnapping, and the third book is a murder, and it's set on a safari. I'm very excited for this. I've been meaning to get to this for a very long time. I really love this author duo, which is M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. So, perfect opportunity. It's a mystery. It's a fun time. And for the last prompt, which is read a book set in autumn, I will actually be reading the group book, which fit perfectly. It is The Bellwoods Game by Celia Crampion. Like, just the cover of this screams fall. This was a Owl Crate Junior pick for August, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This is actually the group book. I needed a reason to pick this up. The vlog of me reading all my subscription books is still underway. It is coming, I promise. So this is what I will be reading. There will be a discussion of the group book as well as some reading sprints and a movie night during the week of the readathon. If any of you guys who I know also love middle grade haven't heard of this, check it out in the description. It's going to be a real fun time. And if things in my life don't change too drastically. I may be on vacation during the week of the readathon, so it's going to be extra fun. But things may have changed since then, so maybe I will not be. I'm not holding myself to that. So, those were all the ridiculous amount of books that I'm reading, all the readathons I'm participating in. Obviously, there's 1,000 more books I would want to read in the month of October because it's spooky season. But I think I have a fun variety. So, thank you so much if you made it to the end. I'm sorry this was so long. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are looking forward to all the spooky time content, all the vlogs, all the readathons, and yeah, I will see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.